Oh. Right, hello YouTube. This is second YouTube now. This is because we've been streaming on YouTube, but now I say hello to the people who are watching us back on YouTube. So hello, and then we start the audio. Hello and welcome to the Deception Podcast, attempting to make an audio show out of a visual art form since 2013. My name is Jonty Sparrow. There's lots of people here today. Next to me is Aaron Hayes.
Hey, how's it going? Hey, how are you out there, Magic World?
Also, across the interwebs, we have Jordan O'Grady.
Hello.
And we have guest host this week, Tom Mullenger.
Hello guys, thank you very much for having me.
Good stuff. So before we get started, because this is something we have to do now for hosts, guest hosts, who are you, Tom?
Tell us what's your name and where'd you come from?
Well, mate, I don't really know what I'm doing here, so I was a bit shocked when you messaged me. I thought you got the wrong guy. But I am I'm a professional magical entertainer. I also work for Saturn Magic, and what people don't know about me is I go into schools and do confidence boosting.
This is
quick, didn't he?
No, is that? Do you do that with magic, or is it like a totally separate thing?
No, mate, I've got no other talents. I don't exactly go in and no. It's for a big
magic,
company.
you magic a talent, are you?
Yes, mate. Thanks. Who asked you, Bobby? Yeah, I go in with a larger company, and the company takes in people that have talents they can teach key skill subjects like maths, English, and science.
And magic.
But the kids that we're working with don't want to be there.
Yeah.
So I go in and do some magic, set fire to some stuff, and they're like, right. So if we hang out here, we're gonna see some magic, and it kind of works like that.
I see. So it's like a tit for sort of back and forth.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man. Good stuff. Right,
yeah, so...
we'll jump in then. We've got some magic news. Here we go.
Cool story, bro.
Traveling the world of prestidigitation and bringing back the interesting bits. This is Magic News.
So, a few things I want to talk about this week. There has been a piece in the Review Journal, which is a Las Vegas newspaper, or sort of online magazine for Las Vegas.
Yeah.
About two Vegas magicians who currently both have shows on the Strip, and basically the difference between them. Dirk Arthur is a big stage illusion guy, yeah. And there's Mike Hammer, who I haven't heard of the name, but from reading this, he seems to be sort of like a Matt King, Amazing Jonathan style, size-wise at least. That's the kind of show he's performing.
Barstool and a bottle of beer.
Yeah, basically. And it's basically saying how that sort of stand-up who does tricks is becoming sort of more timeless than the guy with the glitzy boxes. And I think there's something to said that can be said about the sort of flashy boxes can be very
dated.
Can very much date themselves, you know.
Very quickly. Well, yeah.
Is this something you think? I don't know, because I'll be honest with you, I find a lot of illusion acts, even when they're brand new, are quite dated, without sounding horrible. Yeah. So is it
what it is?
Is it the sort of thing that it's sort of very much of its time a little, you know, because so much of it is about the image of it, you know, the guy's hair, the guy, you know, what the women are wearing.
It's normally.
Depends who you're watching.
So are there any illusion acts you can think of who are timeless then, who you know, or have at least sort of updated themselves?
Who are modern?
Darcio.
Jason Latimer.
Yeah.
Latimer.
Jason Latimer, yeah.
Probably the best example.
Does all the lasery type stuff, doesn't he? That seems a bit more up to date and current, rather than bringing on a box and sawing a lady in half.
But if he's worked so hard on that act, is he going to give it up when it's not cool anymore? Not cool, not current anymore, you know.
Probably not. It depends.
When Siegfried and Roy first started with the big hair and the white tigers in the 80s and the shoulder pads, that was cool. That's what everyone was doing.
Yeah.
But they haven't updated themselves in the last sort of 25 years because they've got the act.
That's magic all over, isn't it? I mean, I'm quite new to the magic world, as it were, and there's people that are still doing what they've always done because they've always done it. So I think that's always going to happen.
But Matt
Darcio.
King Matt King and people like him have always done a guy in a suit who stands there and does tricks. But what I'm saying is that sort of, what's the way of putting it? Is that I'll tell you what the word I'm trying to think of is.
And why are you still talking? Why you let someone else have a go?
Well, no, I don't know. Yeah, no, not so much a style. It's like I say, it's timeless. It's like it's almost like not affected by the fact that it's dated. Like, for instance, mullets aren't popular now. Those big beards that everyone has, are, big thing. Not like that one. That's fine. But the big sort of hipster beards.
Both of us, Annie. Me and my mullet.
The big beards are going to go out of fashion, but the short back and sides is always fine.
Classic.
You know what I mean?
Classic.
So is there something to be said about the guy with a mic stand? He's always going to be not necessarily fashionable, but not unfashionable.
Right, Jordan, Tom, are you with me here and on the understanding that you're not quite sure if Jonty's just asked a question or if he just said lots of words to us?
That's how this podcast works, isn't it, mate?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's do it like a panel.
Okay.
Jordan, your opinion.
Take Penn and Teller, for instance. When their Vegas show, they try to update it quite, well, I wouldn't say quite frequently, but they add new endings in every now and again, and they've got a couple of different shows. So if you went and watched them twice while you were there, I think you'd see some of the same effects, but they have new ones in there.
Right.
So, like, they update all the time. Whether or not their style and their dress code and the way that they look changes, I'm not sure, because, well, I would have thought so.
Well, it doesn't that much, does it, really? Apart from a haircut, they've always kind of done the whole three-piece suit thing, matching suits.
Well, think of it as yourself then. If you were going to go to a wedding, would you still be wearing suits in another 20 years' time?
I think a suit is timeless.
Yeah.
I think a suit.
But the style of the suit.
The cut of the suit changes, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
It's a
but
bit skinny now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think a three-piece suit, though, will always look amazing.
Struggle to get things up my sleeves now.
We're not wearing zoot suits, are we, anymore?
Oh,
I would.
Pity, though, isn't it? Pity. Right. My opinion with it is, I know what you're saying. You're trying to say, is the one man who walks on with a suitcase, walks on with a little case, puts it on a stool, opens it up, and does an hour.
Yeah.
Is that more lasting?
Yeah.
Than people coming on with this big wind blowing through the hair, shirt buttoned up to like the bottom one.
Yeah.
Dancing around, pointing at the audience, box pointing.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yes and no. Yes and no. I think a lot of illusions are seriously dated. Personally, for me, a lot of the time I don't quite get. I tell you what I think it is. I think we live in a world now.
Expensive.
Well, it's not that. I think we live in a
It
world.
could be though. That's not a bad point.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? They're so expensive to buy.
Yeah.
Illusionists can't afford to change their acts every 2 years.
I think, as well, I think we live in a world now where you're chatting to people and you go, oh, what's that person's name? Oh, what's that? Oh, hang on. You get out your phone, you find it. You've done it within 3 or 4 seconds. We're used to things happening a little bit faster now. If you watch an old Western film, they will show you like 2 minutes of a wagon in the background just being like going across the background. Or they'll film them just sitting around the fire for 2 minutes, and you're thinking, nothing's happening. I think because we live in an instant age, this whole thing of putting a girl in the box, then doing a dance routine to some dodgy musical number for 3 minutes. I think. See you later, Jordan.
See you later, mate.
I'm not going to read the message you sent. Go on, carry on. Jordan's be back with us in a moment.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How many minutes? 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Timing.
Yeah, no, I think because I think that it almost not bores you, but it does. You kind of sit there going, come on. I need almost like I need something to happen now.
But like you say, if it's cost you $5,000, it's not a 30-second trick, is it?
No, it isn't.
You know what I mean?
No,
you've got to make a
It's
sort of set
not
piece.
only- I mean, you probably know this from your stage show. It's not just the cost of the illusion. You have to have somewhere to store it.
Yeah.
I was chatting to some illusionists, and they've got a warehouse they have to rent, then a van to move it. It's a massive investment, and you're right. And the thing with illusion shows, and this may be really disrespectful, but you know that the girl's going to go in the box, she's going to vanish, and the performer's going to be in the box.
Yeah.
And no matter how they do it, there's only a certain number of those sort of shows that you can see. You wouldn't do one on a Friday and then go, oh, let's go and see another one on Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. There's only so many tropes you can sort of cover, isn't there?
But then people like Darcy Oak turn up and do big grand illusions on a stage, whatever you think of the form. But that was new and fresh, and everyone that didn't like that sort of magic went, "Oh, that was quite good."
Yeah.
So
Now,
a way.
It was quite good, despite the fact that it was an illusion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I think, I think as well. I think a lot of it does come down to magician's image. I think if the magician comes out and looks relatable, I think you're more likely to sit down and relate to either a guy in a nice cut suit or a guy who's come out in jeans and t-shirt.
Yeah.
Who's talking the way you talk.
Yeah.
Not one of these who come out like... I mean, don't get me wrong, I love watching Doug Henning's magic show, the Broadway one.
Yeah.
I mean, genuinely, it's one of my
We're gonna
favourite...
need a magician.
We're gonna need a magician. It's amazing. Frenchie from Greece is in it. It's brilliant. That was quick, wasn't it? Fell out.
Must have fell out, that, mate.
Fell out. What was that? Bleeding a radiator?
Did he wipe?
What was that?
I had to go.
You gonna go back for a wipe?
Was it like Was it? Go on. So we'll move on then. Anyway,
just to wrap it up. I don't think it's the effects themselves. I think it's purely down to image.
it's their image. Yeah, I think you're probably
do,
right.
I do.
But it does seem that illusions kind of lend themselves to a more sort of grandiose image. You know.
Hey, picture a world where magic can only exist in your mind, and to prove that, here's a box and a knife.
So moving on, different kind of illusion now with what's RTS? Royal Television Society, Cambridge, has seen the first ever 360-degree magic trick.
Yes.
Okay, so this is a bit of I say new technology. Tom's going to fill us in here with some backstory, but it's been new to YouTube, I think, is the idea, and basically they've come with this method of 360-degree filming where something is filmed all the way around, and while you're watching the video, you can move the viewpoint all the way around. So first of all, Tom, you were telling me that you saw this a while back, did you?
I haven't got a clue what you're talking about.
You went in like it. Yeah, cheers, mate.
Yeah, I used to, before I was a magician, I used to work on the Gadget Show. Hey.
That's dead good.
Does anybody? Quick question then. Does anybody ever win those competitions?
Somebody wins the competition every week.
Never gets asked that.
I thought you were going to say, does anyone actually watch the Gadget Show?
Mate, every week somebody wins that competition, and every week people like me have to drive a van full of stock to somebody's house.
Oh, was that one of the things you had to do? Was you would ship it round? And
So,
did the odd iPod ever go walking?
No, mate.
No.
Did you
But-
delivered stuff? Did you just throw it in door?
What happens is...
It wasn't even like it was a big thing, but it was always like, here's your 4 drones. What are
Yeah.
you doing with 4
It's
drones?
your 6 mics, 3 mics, but you unload it, and the whole street comes out,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
you're thinking,
'cause they're looking
you're
to
gonna
rob
get
it.
done over it, look.
Yeah, you're going to go.
Like,
I was quite surprised it just goes to their house, to be honest. Half of me would think it would go to some sort of storage place where you could go and collect it or something, yeah.
But anyway,
Go on, sorry,
Anyway,
we
back on track.
digress.
So do you guys know the Oculus Rift? Bet you know, John T. It's the 3D
Yeah,
immersive goggles.
VR goggles, yeah.
Yeah. So it's the same technology, and they realised that rather than just playing computer games with it, what
Yeah.
if they could have conference centres where everybody sits in their home country, puts it on,
Mhm.
and like you said, they can walk around this 3D building, they can see everyone that's there.
Yeah.
And the scary thought is the idea that one day that's how we're going to live. We're going to wake up,
Just
log
pop
in,
it
and
on.
just-
A bit like,
just
what was
be
that
on
Bruce
the
Willis
outside.
movie that did it, where you have your own robot and you just sort of get into this little dock and your robot goes off wandering for the day.
Similar to
Surrogates, was it?
Similar to what we're doing now.
Yeah,
John?
basically, yeah. I think it's one of those things where that like games and porn will develop the technology, but the
Have you
actual good use for the technology will be things like going around conferences and things like that. Yeah,
Have you seen Red Dwarf where they do it?
I can't think I have.
The Red Dwarf
Probably.
episode where they become cowboys. And
Oh
and
yeah,
fight
sure,
and fight.
yeah, okay, yeah,
Exactly
yeah,
like that.
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, games and porn, mate. That's exactly where it's going.
I believe
But-
Star Wars released a 360 video
They did,
trailer
where
was it a
you're
few
in
weeks back?
you're in a pod racer, and it's going along, but you can
Yeah.
look all the way around. So
Oh,
anyway,
yeah, you
the reason
can
we're
tell.
talking about this is Ben. I never remember which Ben it is.
Hart.
Hart. I always get
He's
mixed.
a good-looking bastard, isn't he? I'm sorry
is,
for the
yeah.
He's a very,
language,
very
but he
talented
is, isn't he?
magician as well, isn't he?
Surrogate.
He is.
Yes, somebody in the chat room just told me that Bruce Willis movie is Surrogates. Thank you. So Ben, I always get mixed up with Ben Hart, Ben Earl, and who's the other one? Ben Hanlon. Yeah. So it's Ben Hart. This is, and he's done a 360-degree magic trick where he starts off and makes a glass of orange juice disappear.
Classic.
And then you can watch the video again from a 360-degree camera where you can zoom all the way around and you can see how it actually works. Now, it's a nice use of the technology, and it's a good way to get a bit of promo, obviously, because that technology, at least in the tech industry, is quite hot at the moment. I won't lie, I don't think it's the best use of the technology because you could have just had a second camera that was a bit further away. Will have shown you everything you needed to see, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? There wasn't actually really anything that sort of involved the whole scope of 360.
Like when they did, was it the guy with the ball and the woman was behind him?
Yeah, it's a guy called Richard Weissman.
Yeah, Richard Weissman
who does
a lot
quite
of
a
that,
few
doesn't he?
things like this, where
Yes.
it
And
only
he just
works.
has a second camera, doesn't he?
Yeah, and it only really works on sort of one plane.
Yeah.
Yet the second you sort of move away, you can sort of see what's going on. So it's one of those really. But it's nice that rather than just having a second camera set up a bit further away, so you can actually see Noel Quarter on a set of step ladders with a fishing rod.
Is that how it was?
Yeah, it looks like it anyway. Yeah, and rather than that, you've got this whole sort of 360. You can zoom around. You can see a couple of the runners
Why was he on a step? Why was he on a step ladder?
because his real ladders left home when he was a kid.
Yes, we still got it. We still got it.
I'm surprised you two didn't retire.
Yeah.
If you look up, there's like a vent on the ceiling as well. And if you've ever played computer games, when you look at that vent, you're like, there's something behind that.
There's a
vent.
guy dropping down there in a minute.
Yeah.
But it's dead good anyway. It's on YouTube. I don't know what actual YouTube channel it's on. I don't know if it's on. It might be on Objectives channel, or let me bring it up and have a look. There's going to be an advert, isn't there?
RTS, the Royal Television
Oh,
Society.
no, it's actually
channel.
on the Royal Television Society YouTube, yeah. And it hasn't had many views yet, to be honest, but maybe we can put it... There'll be a link in the show notes anyway. Talking of show
Well,
notes...
after this is aired, to be fair, mate, it'll get another...
Well,
three,
yeah,
four.
exactly.
Another
It's
10 or
going
12
to blow
now.
up, isn't it, once we've talked about it. Talking of show notes, you can find all the links we're talking about on the Geekism Network websites, geekism-network.com/deception43. You can find all the information about this. Yes.
If it's so easy for them to find the show notes,
Yeah.
how come me and Jordan have to wait 15 minutes this morning for you to get it all together?
Because there's two separate types of show notes. There's the one that we can use that's editable,
Right.
and there's got all the swear words about how you're doing and how you're not going to be back on again. And then there's the proper ones that they get to see afterwards. The last story then, Tesco worker embarks upon...
This is a absolute... I've read this now.
Are you kicking? Are you going to kick
Yeah,
off
I'm
about this?
kicking off,
All right, well,
yeah.
let me tell them what you're going to kick off about
You're
first.
a prat. You are.
Now, hold on, there's a Virgin advert popped up. That Virgin the airline,
how
that is.
much-
Not,
how did you get that?
it's not that sort of website. David Blaines star glass box stunt for charity. So this is a woman, Michelle Coleman, no relation to Matt, has woke up this morning after on the strangest nights, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so basically she's gone and stood in a box for not long, 50 hours, I
50
think it
hours.
was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's done...
I've had hangovers
Not
that last
long.
longer than that.
Yeah,
That's still over 2 days in a box.
yeah,
And
but...
she's allowed out to go to the loo.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah, she's
You're
not.
having a-
She's not shitting in a bucket in
I'll
the
tell
corner
you,
of a Tesco,
she's
is
not
she?
doing that. She hasn't got it. She's not been given a bag, is she? Right? And
Are people flying burgers around her? And,
Yeah, exactly,
throwing eggs
yeah.
at her and stuff like that.
I remember when Blaine was in London and people cooked barbecues below him.
So, it was funny, wasn't it? Because like over in America, whenever he did something like that, it was always sort of treated as like this amazing stunt.
Oh my God, mate,
This sort of
he must be from another world.
This
Because
sort of
he's
life-
standing on a pole all that time.
this life-affirming
Come over to
sort of
England and
thing,
do it.
isn't it? This sort of like, wow, I've got so much respect, and so much sort of, he's given me so much ideas of how to live my life. And over here, we're like, look at this twat here. But what this story interests me is that, in some extent, at least as far as the Nottingham Post is concerned, that David Blaine is still relevant.
I think he is.
Okay, discuss.
I still at the I had a gig a few months back, and I think I've got another one in February.
Yeah, nice to be working so soon after Christmas.
Yeah, I've got them all in. No, I me gigs, all my gigs, guys, all of them. I still get people saying, "Oh, yeah, David Blaine."
Yeah.
It's more Dynamo now, but you still get as they are.
the
I'm
younger
Dynamo's
people, isn't
dad.
it?
Hey,
Is the David Blaine fans of my generation, now your generation, they're the people that are now got the money.
Right.
These
Yeah,
are
they're the
people
ones
that
who
now
are booking the
booking
gigs.
magicians. Yeah, and they go, "Oh, I remember watching David Blaine," and the minute they say that, I'm like, "Right, you're going to love this," and then hit
Yeah.
them with some of his old stuff, and they're like, "Yeah, you booked."
You'll love this, SpongeBob. He's always doing these sponge rabbits.
did you ever see the episode where he had 3 pieces of rope?
Now,
And do you ever see the episode where he done that?
you're right though. In the 10 years that I was a professional magician, at the start of it, I would still hear people say, "Oh, look, here's David Nixon." You'd still get people say David Nixon, right? And then a lot of the times it would be Daniels. David Nixon is an old British magician. I'm saying that right.
Look at
aren't I?
Jeffrey Durham coming in here. Oh,
You would
is
get
Harry
it.
Bongo?
You would occasionally get Soprendo. They would say the Great Soprendo. Not
up!
very often, but you
Oh
would.
my
You would
word.
get.
Look at this. What's this? Bloody Max Malini coming over here.
You work in Birmingham.
Yeah.
In the 60s.
You would get people say David Nixon. You would.
Not in Birmingham.
And then, but most of the time it was Paul Daniels. But then, yeah, you would usually get.
So you walked into a room and they were, aye, Paul Daniels is here.
No, when you would do
I
a
can see
trick.
similarities, yeah.
When you would do a trick, you would not get the old boys say someone like David Nixon or Paul Daniels. Or actually, one thing they would love saying is they would say, "I bet you don't remember David Nixon, do you?" And I'd have to say, "Well, I don't, but I've seen of him because I'm in the industry. But yeah, I don't. My mother was a twinkle in her mum's eye when he was on TV." But yeah, mostly it was sort of. But then I remember the change from David Blaine to Dynamo to
But you
Troy. Sorry.
What, did my dog put you off then?
No, it's fine. Go on.
No, but you're on about it being current, and you were saying about, do you think Blaine's still current? People still talk about him, yeah, of course
Yeah,
they do.
Christian Fletcher in the chat room says that he's always getting asked how Blaine puts that card through the glass.
Yeah,
So
I get that in classrooms all the time.
What were you
Just
gonna
tell
say?
us
That real
magic.
magic show that he just did was
Excuse me.
probably the best bit of TV magic I've seen for ages.
yeah,
It didn't get as much coverage though, did it? I know. No, I mean, it didn't. No, it didn't. It wasn't as.
No.
I wouldn't say tons of people watched it by any stretch of the imagination.
nowhere near as many as watched the first one he did, whatever it was called. David Blaine, was it Street Magic? Was it the first one he ever did? You know, that was. I mean, remember that was everywhere. You couldn't move for hearing of that.
For seeing some awkward fat kid with his hand out. Oh, cool.
Was that the one he did the raven on
Yeah.
the back of his hand?
Cool. All right, mate. Tell your face.
Johnny,
Do you remember? The thing is, right?
Cool.
Paul Daniels used to get like 5 million on a Saturday night. Didn't
More
he,
than that.
watching?
No, it was more than that.
8 million,
No, it
10
was in the
million,
tens,
100. He used
he
to
had
get
the
3
nation.
billion people
really talk about
watching.
money, mate.
Right? No, not money, figures. People watching. Right? We went to see him last week
Yeah. a couple
in
weeks
Port
ago.
Sunlight,
Really, you
which
didn't say.
is a little theatre that probably seats about 200, maybe 400, and it was about 80% full.
I'd say about 350.
Everyone enjoyed it. He was brilliant. Consummate professional. Came out and met everyone afterwards. Great show. Really enjoyed it. Is David Blaine going to get to the point where he's working clubs for 200 people again?
No. I know he's not.
So is he going to get a Vegas show?
Who Blaine?
Yeah.
No. I don't
So
think
what's he
so.
going to do then?
What, sit back and sit on the millions he's got?
But people don't know, do they?
Start turning up at conventions taking photos.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's going to earn him a
Photos.
lot of money.
£2 each.
You're making a bit of money. Hey,
Set up a little booth. £2. Well, that's what a lot of like other actors do, isn't it? They go and
that's all comic conventions.
comic.
do
That's
it.
all people sign in. But that's what I'm saying is people don't say. You can say, "Oh, we could retire now," but he won't because people don't. So what's he going to do? What's his thing? He's not going to keep making specials.
He's going to
Well,
go
going
away
to do
for 5
stuff, though,
years,
isn't he?
and he's going to come back and do it all again, like he did.
Yeah. Is that it? We're just going to get a special every 5
I
years.
think he just sits back and does his one corporate gig a year,
Yeah.
which.
That's what I mean. Just because he
costs more
can,
than
just because
most
he
of
doesn't
our
have to
houses
earn the
together.
money, doesn't mean he doesn't want to work. You know.
But he's probably consulting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Didn't he do something for Microsoft where he walked out on stage and made his head fall off and scared all the children in the front row?
I don't remember that.
Is this like an urban
Sounds
myth?
like an urban myth. That
Because I heard
No,
an urban myth years
think
ago
of
that
it.
Barney the dinosaur went to a kid show and the electronics inside him shorted and Barney was like fire started coming out of Barney's mouth.
There's one.
and
Have you
scaring the
have you
kids.
seen that
And I don't
one?
know if it ever happened. I
you
also
seen
heard a
that
story
one?
about a lad who was playing with himself on his bed. He had his headphones on.
Oh.
And when he finished, his mum had left him a drink and put some clean washing at the bottom of his bed.
Yeah, that's an urban myth. There was one of in Disney though. It was one of the Incredibles where her face falls off.
Yes.
Have you seen that? That was quite funny. All right, good. So, time for you. Sounds like you're playing yourself.
Just say before you do that.
Yeah.
Thank you, the lady who is sitting in a box for 48 or 50 hours.
Oh yeah.
You're doing it for a very good cause. Well done.
What cause is it, Aaron?
It's for.
Oh, yeah,
I think
that's
it's,
quite important.
I think it's for an autism charity.
Okay, good.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
But
She's fine.
there's no way she's not. They're not starving her, are
No,
they?
she's got a bit. She has got it a bit flush more than what Dwayne had. She's got a chair and a
Netflix.
telly and Netflix
She's
and
got,
chill.
So did Blaine, you
15
just didn't
fancy
see it.
dress outfits to change as well.
Has she really? Why would she do
Yes.
that?
Have a look. She's going to change outfit every hour to.
No,
How's she
there's a
doing?
show.
There you go. Go and watch that. Tell me how
There's
she's
a show.
changing.
While you're checking that, Jonty, David Blaine traumatises a room full of kids at the 2014 Kids' Choice Awards.
Oh right, okay.
There you go. It didn't come up on mine because I typed in Microsoft.
Yeah, it
That'd
wasn't
be why.
Microsoft. I made that bit up.
Right, here we
Yeah,
go.
but you're using an Apple device. You
This
can't,
week's-
you can't search Microsoft on an Apple
This
device.
week sounds like you're playing with yourself. All I've got written down is Daryl Not. So what actually is
sorry.
it? Is Daryl's one of his rope?
Daryl's amazing acrobatic knot.
There we go.
I love Daryl. Because the
Daryl,
man truly believes in
£30
everything he does.
he's brilliant. We love
Daryl's
Daryl,
expensive these days.
and he's also a really, really good well of. Sounds like you're playing with yourself. This is the third time we've had Daryl on the show
Yeah,
now with one
he's
of
full
these.
of
I've got a lot of his. I've got a lot of his material. I won't lie to you.
Here we go then. Sounds like you're playing with yourself. This week's comes from Daryl's acrobatic, awesome knots. Whatever. I don't know. Sounds like you're playing with yourself.
The right hand lets go of this end, grabs the end from the left hand, and you make a fist with your left hand and slide, and just stick the end through. Hold with your index finger and let the end fall forward, that is away from you, as it holds the red end and you separate the hands. That's all there is to it.
And yeah, that's how you do it. Couldn't
Sounds
be
like
easier.
I finished
Couldn't be easier.
holding my red end.
Filthy man.
Right, we'll do this. This week's Master Debate was: what 3 tricks would you recommend to a beginner and why? Now, before we start, I just want to say that I know full well that the actual tricks you do are very little part of the whole being a magician, learning how to be a magician. I understand that. But it's meant to be a quick question we can ask to get a bit of feedback and a bit of debate and a bit of discussion at the end of the show. I can't sit there and ask you all, give me all a small thesis on the beginnings of becoming a magician, because it'd go on too long. So this
Yeah.
week we asked,
I'll be
name
honest,
a few tricks.
I thought the question that you asked was quite explanatory.
Right. Well, obviously not. So
Self-explanatory.
here are the people who answered relatively correctly. Phil Taylor put, I would only recommend one piece of advice. He's already gone wrong because we asked for 2 or 3. So cheers. No, Phil says it's a fair comment. I would only recommend one piece of advice, which is learn to handle a deck of cards correctly. Now, I find that's quite interesting because the next comment from Stacey Smith hasn't mentioned cards at all.
No.
Stacey
Stacey's-
Smith.
oh, you wanna-
No, go on.
Okay, I will. Are you gonna? Do you want to? No, go on. You can,
Oh,
and
you've got to say 'em now.
I'll wait. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll just do it. It's easier if I do it.
Go on then.
Stacey says, Professor's nightmare, because the props are examinable before and after, and it introduces some good principles of psychology. Also, some form of 2 in the hand, 1 in the pocket, because it ends clean and teaches holding out. And a torn and restore napkin, because the props are easily sourced. That's exactly what we asked for.
Glad you read that out, because I had no idea what
2H1P
2H1P meant.
I thought
I was
so.
reading it going, tip? Trip.
But no, that's a perfect answer.
Yeah, very good. Adrian Pritchard has put, do as I do, teach them performance and a great easy effect. Yeah, was that the one where it goes behind your back? Do you have 2 decks?
Yeah, it can be, but a lot of the time it's cut the cards, have a look at yours, let's swap the pack over, cut them again. You find your card from that pack, I'll find mine from this, and they're the same one normally. Then Jay Sankey.
Do you know what? Every week this guy messages he's constantly going on.
Oh, go on, guys.
And we thought, do you know what? We might as well read one. We're going to have to read one of them out one week. So Jay Sankey has got in touch and said the tricks matter so much less than your attitude. Be friendly, relaxed, focus more on your audience than your tricks.
See, that's why we don't have his comments on.
Because that's not what we asked Jay.
That's not what we asked Jay. For crying out, your one job.
I totally understand. It's fantastic advice, and I understand that it's not. But next week will be what's the one piece of advice you would give other than what tricks you do. You know, we're doing a little bit of a series. It's carrying on. But we were looking for tricks. But thanks for talking to us, Jay.
Robert Bone says, "Who cares what tricks they do?"
All right, good. Thanks Robert. Next.
Cheers,
it's actually quite a cynical post, that, Rob. It's not the sort of thing we're looking for. We're looking for help and advice. Stephen Hancock has put, depends how much time they have. All right, okay, another knobhead. Okay, Andy Charlton, here's a good one. Dynamic coins, got a story, got loads of things that happen. Coins appear, move from one cap to another, penetrate through the caps, and finally disappear. The props do all the work, leaving them to concentrate on presentation.
I've seen Andy Charlton's dynamic coins routine.
Yes, fantastic.
And it's really, really good.
Yeah, really
it's
is.
Really good.
I love dynamic coins. It was not the sort of thing I would do now, but for years, oh God, you couldn't move.
Probably one of.
How big were they?
They're massive.
Dynamic bin lids.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm just going to copy the rest of Andy's stuff there as well, John, if you want to read that.
Yeah, please, because we had to cut some off there.
The next one, Mark Bennett.
There you go.
Says.
There we go. We'll just finish off what Andy said.
Yeah, sure.
It teaches the importance of presentation and having the story and sequence learned. After they have that, they can add that skill to anything they choose to do, whether it's complicated sleight-of-hand stuff, right through to illusions. The principle will never change. Fantastic bit of advice, Andy. Thank you for that.
Mark Bennett says, Colour Monty is a must. It teaches you great control and has a great finish. And then he goes on about talking about his own working
Anything
set.
with a double backer.
A double backer and a bucket. But no, the Colour Monty is a perfect thing, really.
Yeah.
I mean, he's calling it the Colour Monty, which is how I'd probably perform it as well. But I know a lot of people do this, that, and the other.
It's the same trick, isn't it? I think.
But I think it costs you
that's
60p.
what it's developed into, weren't it?
Well, this, that, and the other is 60p and a Sharpie.
Yeah.
Colour Monty is a printed card, so it's cheaper.
But
for
the moves are the same.
ones.
What is that? I don't know what that move is, but where
That
you
with
you
pull
push
back,
the
slide
two
forward.
and slide one back, and then I don't know what that is, but basically they both use that, don't they?
I'm doing it now for the camera. That's what the move
I
is.
don't know what you're doing to the camera.
That's the move I'm doing. Smell that.
Brian Watson. I tell you what, I'll give you 5 guesses what Brian Watson suggests.
Rope scenes.
Cups and balls.
Card flourishes, he said. Then a decent sybil.
But he goes on to explain exactly why. It teaches you all the basic sleights, angles, etc. Has the most of all the effects of magic, appearances, vanishes, penetrations, transpositions. It's a classic. You can go as deep as you want into it and study it for life if you want to. Also, paddle tricks are great for beginners too.
There's a sounds like right there.
There is, yeah.
Definitely is, yeah.
Do you know what, we're not going to read out the per because I'm not going to give him the thing of that. But when we put these questions up on social media sites and things, we actually say it's for the show.
Yeah, this is for the show.
We say it's for the show. And someone's genuinely give us a reply saying, well, what do you want to do with the tricks? Yeah. What do you mean? Give them to a beginner? What do you mean? What do I want to do with them? For crying out loud.
Dan Burgess. Go on, sorry. No, go on.
Different responses from different Facebook groups. Because
Yes.
I've accidentally replied to one in a group thinking it was in another group.
Yeah.
And instantly got people attacking my answer, while there's some groups that are more creative and
and more welcoming. We try not to name names, but yeah, you're right. I think some groups kind of get the idea of what we're trying to do with this a little bit more.
Hey, what'd you think of my pass? Duplicate
Dan-
card, mate. It's a duplicate card.
Dan Burgess has, for once, not given a sarky answer. Dan, thank you. You're growing as a person. Dan Burgess just put a TT, Svengali deck, and dynamic coins or in a keto box. All easy effects to get great reactions, but require practice of sleight of hand, timing, and audience management without being a massive ball ache. Plus, they are cheap.
You know, the other week we were talking about things that we don't know what they are in Magic. Like, I don't know what out to lunch is.
Do you not know what a keto box
I'm
is?
not sure what an keto box is. Just
Oh,
quick.
come on, Harry.
Right, hang on, wait a minute. And Tom, I know about your knowledge of Magic. Don't you dare start trying to lecture me on it. Go on. What
I don't.
just describe
I
it.
don't pretend to know anything.
Oh, very good. Yeah.
Do you know what an
I don't
keto
pretend
box
to
is,
run a
Tom?
shop.
Describe
Is
an
it a
keto
Switch
box.
mate?
And a keto box is a little box with a lid on that the top fits on the bottom. So you
Oh,
can
I
take
know. You
them-
put the coins on the back of the hand,
Yeah.
and you put them there and there,
Yeah.
and
And
it
you
looks
can
the same.
palm them. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right
I
then.
know.
All right then. All right then.
I know now.
So
I know
what's
now.
a Boston box?
It's just got a different name.
We interrupt this
What's a minute,
podcast to
Johnny?
bring.
A Boston box is an Akito box that has a recess in the base that will hold one coin, so you can show it with the lid off and make it still look like it's full of coins. Yes, knowledge.
So what's
I was going to say that actually. But
Yeah, I bet
I
you
thought
are.
I'd
Yeah.
let you steal the thunder.
a wonderful box?
It's one of those, but painted pink. Faye Presto has put, as soon as you can do a decent trick with a normal pack of cards, learn the brainwave, a rope routine, and of course that plastic thingy. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Darren Smith has put, I think Harry Lorraine said something like, if you can learn one good control, a full shuffle, and a double lift, you can perform miracles. Or something like that, I'd agree. So you're giving us 3 moves there,
Yeah.
but to be honest, each of those just purely on its own could be a trick, couldn't it? Really, you know, a full shuffle can be a trick. You could do it, you know, with a full shuffle, you've got a memorized deck, you've got a story deck, you know, that's all you need, isn't it? Really.
Nemed Phoenix.
That's let me just say we had a couple in the chat room. Ian Brennan has said a first good trick would be a card reveal using a key card, very basic but can be developed from there. And Christian Fletcher said that a Boston box is a bloody good box if you're from the Black Country. It's Boston. Very good. Whereabouts are you from, Tom? Because you're in the Birmingham area, aren't you? But you don't sound particularly brummy.
sound like you're from that area, mate.
What was that supposed to be, mate?
Anything for you, cupcake?
Jesus.
Mate.
Yeah, but you are in Birmingham now, aren't you, or thereabouts? Oh, where are you now then? Huh?
Coventry.
He's
Oh,
just-
it's same
he
there,
said
same
like
difference.
5 times. I'm in Coventry.
Mate,
yeah,
I'm
but
the
where?
official match night magician for the Coventry Blaze.
Right.
That's why I'm in Coventry.
Right, I was going to ask about this, right?
Here we go.
Because what is the Coventry what?
Blaze.
Blaze.
What is that?
That's the ice hockey team, mate.
It's
You know that
opposite.
thing that you like, that sports ball?
Yes.
Go
It's a game
Sports.
like that, played by men on ice at 100 miles an hour.
Why did I think that he was into rollerball?
Do you know
For
what?
some reason. I
They've all
genuinely
got
thought.
pads on though.
I
I'm
genuinely thought he was
sorry.
into rollerball.
And I know this is going to
for some
sound
reason.
really old-fashioned of me, but the second you add on ice to anything, it doesn't sound manly at all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you say ice skating is fine, ice hockey is fine, but the second something is on ice, it just doesn't quite fit.
You know what would be a good game?
Well,
Football on ice.
Yeah,
With,
would you?
with no. with just
curling,
normal-
isn't it?
Normal shoes on.
Normal shoes, not ice.
No,
not
I
ice
don't mean
skates.
like any fancy boots or out, just football on ice.
That just reminds me of being at school when it
Be
snowed.
interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, then we actually we probably played it as kids.
Yeah. When you're like 8 years old and the teacher's like, right, stay in. You're like, no,
No.
no.
Going out.
Goalposts.
I'm going outside to break my arm.
Yeah, yes, please.
Nemed Phoenix says some trick that's basically unperformable, but requires a perfect double lift that shows the necessary patience and practice. And Doc Hilford's effect, I believe, called Nightmare Coin, using just one coin and showmanship and presentation skills to make the effect work. Those two should show everything a beginner needs. Yeah.
Faye Presto goes on to say, lock yourself in a bedroom, wear out 20 or 30 packs of cards, post loads of videos to Facebook, preferably just your hands and crotch, begging for comments, get disheartened and go off and play lots of video games.
Can I stop a second?
Yes.
Right. Surely we
talking
saw
about
this.
that,
Now
we'll
we're all
find the rest
part.
of it.
We're all part of the Magic community.
Yes.
Now Magic went a little bit viral on Facebook the other day, just
Right.
amongst magicians,
Right.
of a guy selecting a card out of a pack,
Yeah.
Queen of something probably, I think it was,
Yeah.
and put it in the pack, and then can't just riffled the back of the cards and turned it over again. I went, "What do you think of my pass?"
Oh right, yeah.
They're like, "Well, it's not.
It's not a pass.
It's not." And he kept it up for hours and hours. And if there's any people out, honestly, if there's any young magicians who actually listen to this podcast, you probably don't, because we slag you off a lot. We do.
No, we
do.
don't.
No, I think we do. I think we're horrible to him, in fact. But there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. Seriously, no one wants, like Faye said there, no one wants to see a video of your crotch area like Jordan's doing now on camera for us, right? No one wants to see that. Seriously, and the whole. I always comment to people and say, when they say, "What do you think of my pass?" I say, no one should see it.
It doesn't really matter, does it?
How
No
good
one,
is that?
no one should see it. Hey,
We'll move
How
on.
clean is that? Right angles, that, innit?
Yeah, look, wikis.
you nailed it. They're nice cars, Jordan. What are they?
They're knocks, aren't they?
They're not
Knocks,
nice
yeah.
cards.
Daniel Saul has put.
Spin them around, look.
All right, shush. Daniel Saul has put, I'd agree, for the most part, get out and perform, get caught. I still use the simplest of keycard locations in my act, and it slays because it's framed well. It was a good to start, now it kills. We forget how good these things are. So yes, simple, principle-based card magic. Something like a Crazy Man's Handcuffs, easy to learn, needs practice to do well, but it's jaw-dropping when perfect. And perhaps a simple mentalism-flavoured routine, a picture duplication or something, to see if you like the mind-bothery. I like that phrase.
Mind-boggling.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it?
Sean McCarthy says, ambitious card, as it teaches multiple controls and reveals. Coins across, as it teaches palming and other basic coin techniques, and something that the gimmick does all the work, but looks amazing. After all, it's crazy gimmicks that make people fall in love with this whole crazy art. That's a good point. That
It is a good point,
is that
yeah.
true?
I think so, yeah. I don't use many of them, but I still love getting a little toy that just does stuff. Do you know what I love? Like the Tenyo stuff.
Little pocket rocket.
Like the Tenyo, like with that. There was one called the Invisible Zone where you put a pen in it and it showed the middle and the pen's gone. And it's a crappy bit of plastic. It does all the work for you. But
Yeah,
I
like
love
stuff
messing
like that.
with stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
ace.
Yeah. You want to read the next one?
I will, yeah. Adrian Lawrence has put sponge balls because it teaches misdirection, patter, and moves that are helpful when learning coin magic. That's a good point, actually. Sponge magic is almost like a step into coin magic, isn't it, I think?
Yeah.
A card location effect using a key card because people ask, can you find my card trick? And it shows simple principles can still be powerful. And finally, Gemini twins, self-working but effective in entertaining people. With those three beginner, you can get family and friends and concentrate on practicing more sleights in the future. Excuse me.
Good
I don't use Gemini twins. I still use a like a rainbow deck all the time.
Yeah, I use a rainbow deck.
Which is basically Gemini twins with different coloured back cards.
I mean, I don't do it like walk around, but despite...
I do it as my go back to a table trick. If they
Yeah.
ask me back, or maybe if it's like a regular table that's seen me a few times, that I will come there because you need a bit of space, and there's quite a bit going on before you get to any magic, But
I think, after reading all these, I'm going to have to drop dynamic coins out my set.
And my favourite comment of the week
the last comments
is of Hannah Voss. I hope I'm pronouncing the name correct. It says, so we asked, the question was...
Yeah, name 3 effects that you would recommend to a beginner and why.
And Hannah Voss writes, the bunnies that have loads of babies. That's it. Okay, thank you. Cheers. So, Jonty, what would you recommend?
I would. Most of mine have been
In fact,
said.
actually, wait.
Okay.
Let's go to our panel.
Okay.
Our esteemed panel. Jordan, not you. We'll do Tom first. Tom.
You can do me first.
Yeah, why
Is there
not?
any more names you want to say before I start?
No, I'm fine.
I think a lot of those, I don't want to upset anybody, but I think a lot of those answers were quite daft. Oh, hello. Anyone that can't see the YouTube camera, they asked me a question and they both looked out the door.
Sorry, somebody was walking in.
First 3 tricks that you want to learn, to me, I wanted to get out performing as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to be doing the style of magic that I liked, so like David Blaine and that sort of effect. So I didn't want to have a silly coin box that looked like nothing on this planet.
Okay.
So my advice would be self-working card tricks in a stack. So when you finish performing, you pick the cards up in the same way and you're reset, ready to go.
Okay.
I had when my first ever charity gig, I can remember exactly what I did. I did 2 self-working card tricks. One was one where you make a prediction card, and then the spectator cuts to the same 3 cards. So if you put an 8 down, they find the 3
sure.
8s.
Right. Okay.
Then you pick up the deck in a certain way, and you do a trick called further than that, or at least that's what Magic Makers called it. So it may have a real name.
Right.
Where you spell out Ace of Spades, and then they're all spades, and you get a royal flush.
Okay. It doesn't ring a bell,
Okay.
but yeah.
It's really, really big.
Sounds amazing.
For self-working. Cheers, mate. And then I used to do a multiple out coin trick.
You're a dickhead.
I'm going to punch you. Which was coins, not cards. And then I used to do a deck switch for Jay Sankey's in a flash.
Right.
And I
Okay.
felt like
That's
a
a
real
one.
magician then.
Yeah.
And again, all self-working, bit of flash paper at the end, and that was my
Big
routine.
big finish. Yeah. Yeah. I think it depends how you want to. It depends how you're going about it. Because I started Magic as a kid,
That's
and I wasn't
Yeah,
even.
you had,
just wrote that down, John.
Go on. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, I think it massively depends on the age that you get into the Magic.
Yeah.
I think it's acceptable to have little plasticky Tenyo things, you know, if
Yeah.
you're a lot younger.
Yeah.
I would have probably suggested dynamic coins, because
Yeah.
it was one of the first things that I started getting into.
Yeah.
So I'd say something like that. But it does depend on the age.
I'm
you're getting
I'm
into
actually going to give my answer for next week's question as part of my answer for this one, and that was I got dynamic coins in a Marvin's Magic set when I was a kid, and I learnt it relatively well. Basically, the pile jumps, and back. And then when we were going on holiday one year, there was a guy in the duty free shop with a tiny little Hamley stand that was doing dynamic coins. So I sort of ran over and stood at the back and watched this guy do it. And he got the pile of 10p's and they jumped across and back and forth. And then he put the whole thing together and shook it and squoze it, and then loads of 20p's came out. Right. And it turns out he basically palmed a little pile of 20p's all the way through the trick.
No
And
way.
copped him in at the end. But that absolutely blew my mind. So I'd got £15, which was my holiday money. I immediately bought dynamic coins again and learned it over the holiday using with the 20p finale. And that was next week's question is, what's the first trick you remember seeing live? And that was mine. But I think dynamic coins is a really good one if you're getting into it maybe younger or you're not. Tom, you definitely had a plan of getting out and working quite quickly, didn't you, when you first got into Magic? So I think if you're not looking for that so much and you can have a bit more time sort of cutting your teeth, I would recommend something
what about
like
Aaron
that.
then? Because you got into Magic a little bit later, didn't you?
Yeah, I would say if I'm going to do 3 tricks for someone who just doesn't, but has a bit of an interest, who wants to be able to just go and do something quickly, I would definitely say either dynamic coins or a bite out coin, something like that. I would hugely recommend either a Svengali deck or a blank deck.
Yeah.
Honestly, and a sound suit, but again, I'd recommend like a tapered deck or something.
Yeah.
You can do so much with a tapered deck. You can do so much with a good Svengali deck or a good
There's some
blank
stuff
deck.
like that I forgot.
I think with the thing with the Sven...
tapered decks, I used to use them quite a lot.
Yeah, I had a stage using them a lot.
Yeah,
I think the problem is with Svengali decks, I think the second you do where you show them all to be 3s, that's not a good trick. There's so much more you can do with a Svengali deck where you never have to show that they're all the same card.
Yeah.
I think.
Whatever.
Good. All right, well, we're going to start wrapping it up then because we're getting in a little bit now. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Thank you for Tom for joining us. Tom, where can people find you?
Twitter is at Jester_Styles, as is my Instagram, which is where I put all my cool stuff.
So Instagram is probably the best place to get you. All right. Okay, cool. Jordan?
At Jordan O'Grady, although Facebook is where I...
You're mostly on Facebook, aren't you?
Aaron Hayes on Facebook, or at the Aaron Hayes on Twitter, or at the Aaron Hayes on Snapchat. Love the Snapchat. Love the Snapchat.
Those new things on Snapchat.
It's amazing, isn't it? It changed my life.
Oh, they're a bit scary, I thought.
Oh,
No, they changed my life.
I thought they were a bit scary.
Snapchat.
And me.
Right, so next week's Bastard Debate question, then I'll say it again for you. It's what is the first trick you remember seeing live And I don't just want one-word answers. Tell me a bit about it. Where were you? Who was it? If you remember anything like that. And
John,
we
it's not
have.
the trick. It's the presentation.
Well, exactly. But if there's a presentation that stuck out for you, move.
What are you doing?
We've got a competition today.
That's me, Aaron. Find me on Snapchat.
The reason we're live is because it's International Podcast Day today. So all the shows on the Geekism Network we're recording live today, and as part of that, we're giving away this huge bounty of magic stuffs. We have
All of it.
we're just going to give one big giveaway. Andrew Normansell's Espresso.
I've used that in a competition,
Yeah.
and it's fantastic.
There we go.
Honestly,
We've got
a really, really good effect.
from Enigma. We've got Pipe Dream by Josh Maddox, and we've got the Eden Project. By Grant Clark, friend of the show. We've also got a couple of Enigma decks as well. We have Hannibal.
The Star of Blackpool.
Star of Blackpool, Hannibal's 2-disc DVD set. Oracle by Titanus. Look at this way so I can see what we're doing. We have a signed Nut Dropper from the marvelous Matthew Wright. We've got a signed Flea Cat. Flea Cat.
As performed by Troy, that mate.
A signed Free Cat, as performed by Troy from Steve Rowe and Kieran Lefevre, Kieran Johnson. We've got The Last Prediction from Big Blind Media and Gobsmacked from Magic Dow. And we've also got Starbucks Espresso Chop Cup from Prop
Aaron's
Dog. Look at that, the
face.
big
He really
one.
wants
That
doesn't he?
he wanted that.
I love one of them.
and,
And we're going to chuck in a few decks of cards.
We've got some Enigmas and some
moonshines and
stuff.
some sinners as well, because we're all about the fashion decks here.
We
at
are.
Deception
Oh, mate, do not get me started.
Convention.
I forgot about that, actually.
What? About what are we all about? Hey, we love them. We are all about.
We're giving that away.
In fact, I think
what
I've
do
got
we
a
have to
deck on
do
me
to-
now. See,
And it's not the first one to comment in the chat that wins, I'm afraid, Christian. No, we're opening those because we've got about a dozen people watching live, so we wanted.
That's the funniest, best.
We
comment
wanted the
ever.
other 4 people who listen to the show to have a chance of winning as well. So
This week we had
The
a
chat that's not at gigs at the moment.
yeah, exactly.
this week we had somebody listen who isn't a magician.
It's somebody who does
another podcast
he does
with you.
another show on the network. Yeah, so he's been listening to some of the other shows.
And he's my favourite comment in the chat thing is just, it's like you're talking in a different language.
Yeah, it doesn't mean much to him, I don't think, but it's nice that he's here. But the competition, what we're going to do is we're going to open it. It's what we call a hashtag competition, and basically the idea is that we want you to post, because we're doing this to build our numbers as well. We want you to post about the show somewhere. It can either be Twitter, it can be Facebook, it can be Instagram if you want to take a photo of something, take a photo of you listening to it or something like that. Anywhere you want, just use the hashtag DeceptionMagic. And if you use this hashtag DeceptionMagic, we'll find it. You'll be entered into a draw to win that pot of stuff. All you have to do is either link to the website, mention on Facebook that you're listening, put on Twitter that you've listened to the show, put on Twitter that you've watched the live show today, anything you want. Just use the hashtag DeceptionMagic. And, sorry, not Deception Magic, Deception Podcast. Use the hashtag Deception Podcast.
Oh, well, too late now, isn't it?
Oh, they've already done it.
Yeah.
Use the
out there.
hashtag Deception Podcast to let people know that you're listening and enjoying the show. You will be entered into it. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, anywhere you want, basically, we can find it. If you long as you use the hashtag Deception Podcast, all one word, you'll be entered in to win all them goodies. Right, that's all we've got. That's all we're doing. I'm just going to turn that down a sec. I'm going to pop my music back on and bring it up in the background. So thanks very much for listening. Again, you can find me on Twitter at John T. Sparrow. You can find Aaron at the Aaron Hayes. You can find Jordan at Jordan O'Grady. You can find Tom at Jester_Styles. You can find all the information about this week's show on www.geekism-network.com/deception43. Right, that's all we've got time for, folks. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for
Tom.
listening.
Thank
And we'll
you,
see
Tom.
you next week.
Bye, Tom.
Bye.
Remember these?
This show is part of the Geekism Network. For more information on this and other shows, visit geekism-network.com.
And we're out on the audio show. And we're out on the video show.
Bye, video show.